What's up, fellow photographers and videographers and filmmakers? Today I'm actually making a video that can be beneficial for a lot of people. So let's talk about what different things you can use for filmmaking, and you can also use them for picture taking, but this is really more targeted toward filmmaking. So there is going to be a lot of different things you can use to record videos. I'm only going to be talking about the things that I have experience in. So things like a stabilizer, gimbal, tripod, monopod, and handheld basically is what I'm going to be talking about. So everything has a pro and everything has a con. So just keep that in mind when watching this video. So the first one is the cheapest, obviously. It's shooting handheld. Now, the pro and the con are both the same, and that is your footage is going to be really shaky. Now, it's all depending on what kind of video you are shooting. If you're shooting a POV like Cloverfield, for instance, then having a lot of shakiness is going to be good because it makes the audience feel like they're in the movie. Or if you're making like a nostalgic film, or not a nostalgic film, but like a nostalgic scene, like a person watching a video of the mother recording them opening presents on Christmas, or something like that. Okay, so the next section is going to be about monopods and tripods. Now, the pro to monopods and tripods. It takes a lot of guts to do this, and a lot of trust. Okay, extend all the arms and hold it up as high as you can, and you get a lot of aerial view, and that is a really nice shot depending on what kind of shot you're going for. And also, same thing with a tripod, but with a tripod, as long as you have like the adjustable head on it, you can use the tripod like a boomstick and just like slowly reach in and give that like feeling of it's coming closer without you actually having to move. So now we're going to actually get into my thing that I have the most experience with, and that is shooting with a stabilizer. I shot with a stabilizer for over a year, so it's the thing I have the most experience with. So I have a lot of examples that I'm going to show you a few in this video after I talk about it, but there's a few pros to using a stabilizer. So using a stabilizer, it's really fun but really tricky to get the hang of at first. At first you gotta learn how to balance it, and it can be complicated to balance one, but once you understand how to balance it, it's easy. So you have to balance it, the length of it first, and then you have to balance where the camera position actually is. And you have to do this for a gimbal too, but it's more complicated on a stabilizer just because everything is manual on a stabilizer. But the good thing about stabilizers is the heavier the camera, the more stable it's going to be. And there is a weight limit for stabilizers, technically, but you can fit some pretty big rigs on a stabilizer. So just keep that in mind. You are going to be limited, like with a gimbal, by the weight of your camera, unlike a stabilizer. And I'm back. So here's my stabilizer if you've never seen one. Really cool, really awesome. You can extend it all the way like this, so it can get decently long, but there's some that will like be as tall as you are, but them are the really expensive ones, and you know, I don't have that kind of money, but you know, that's besides the point. So this stabilizer is really fun. It weighs 5 pounds right now, about 5 pounds. And the bad thing about stabilizers is they will get heavier. Like the weight on the bottom matches the weight on the top, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what the weight difference actually is, but it will get heavier. And the bad thing about stabilizers and mirrorless cameras is that it can get too light. What I mean by that is you need a certain weight, bare minimum, to actually use this. And my Sony a5100 is actually too light to use this properly. So it's sort of bad for me to actually use this because it's not as stable as it would be otherwise. But that's besides the point. I still use it because there are some shots that I can only get using this that I can't get with my gimbal. So besides that, let me show y'all what I'm talking about from like the panning up to panning, like going down to up basically. And what that is you start it down here like this, or you can even start right here. It's all personal preference, and then you can just come up like that. Now there are some other things that I love doing with this. First of all, it's really great, really awesome to go from video mode to vlogging mode when you actually have it on there, because it will stay like this, so when you swing it around it will be facing you, so you can just walk around and then you can just quickly turn around like that. And it's really awesome to get into like a vlogging mode because you don't have to hit like a button or turn the entire thing and go like that. All you have to do is just like swing it around and you're in vlog mode basically. So now let's actually talk about probably my most favorite thing to do with the stabilizer, and it's a really nice transition. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about, and how you do that. If you're using a monopod, you can go like this. How you do it with a stabilizer is really awesome. If you're doing it like a spin, all you gotta do is just spin it. That's all you do. And it's really great because it doesn't take you moving your entire body, because you might hit someone, especially if you're making like cosplay videos like I do. You might hit someone on the floor. So now let's talk about the expensive thing, and that's a gimbal. The cheapest one I found for a camera is $200. You can probably find stuff used for like $150, but gimbals can get up into like $5,000 range if you're not careful, even higher than that. Out of all the things I showed you, it will give you the smoothest video footage out there. And if that's all you care about, getting the smoothest video footage out there, then yeah, that's probably going to be your best bet. The bad thing about that is the higher you go, or the more your camera weighs, the higher in price you will go. You will have to get a more expensive one if you have a heavier camera, and the lighter your camera, the cheaper it will be. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully this was some knowledge, I guess. If you've ever tried to use a stabilizer or a gimbal, leave a comment down below. So until next time, and as always, peace out.